Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. Another DIY project coming your way from myself. That's how DIY works. But I'm taking off my camo wrap. I've already started, so the other side of the car is done. I'll show you in a second. But to do a wrap properly, you need to remove a bunch of the trim. So on this side, I've left pretty much everything attached. And this video is going to be me taking apart or showing you in detail, and that's key, how to take apart all the trim. The goal is not to break anything. I've already taken everything off this side and fingers crossed, not gonna break any more because I did not break any clips on the driver's side. I took my time, I did a lot of research. I wanted to make sure that I got it right the first time. And that's a key message in this video, to get it right the first time, because I had to watch probably 20 or 30 videos. Some weren't that good, so I had to keep going down the rabbit hole and watching more. I looked at literature, I looked at schematics. I just wanted to make sure I didn't break anything, because that's a pain in the butt. So maybe you'll see something that you weren't willing to take apart before, and at least on this 4 Series BMW, you get some insight on how to do that properly. And if you're not a subscriber and you like DIY stuff or seeing people try to attempt to do things themselves and make mistakes, because I've done a lot of those, then please hit that subscribe button. Anyway, I'll stop talking and let's get taking apart this vehicle. Okay, let's start with the mirror. So behind the mirror here, I'm just going to push it in a little bit so we can see through the side. There's a cup with tabs on it, and then there's a disc that's attached to the glass, so you want to try and separate those. Usually a pry tool will work. There we go, we got it. I'll give you a closer look here. Here's a closer look at what it looks like. So here is the clamp that grips onto this plate here. To get this cap off, we have a tab in here. And just bend that in. And at the same time, there's one up in this corner. And then the mirror cap itself has these grooves and these little plastic guidance tabs throughout. So you do want to pull it off in a forward motion like that. So let's give it a shot. There we go, no tabs broken. You got this guidance tab here, here, and here. One on the bottom, another one on the bottom, another one on the bottom, and these 2 flex tabs here. But that's it, now this can be wrapped. Okay, next we're gonna take off the door handle. This is same on both sides of the vehicle. So this rubber piece here just pops out nice and gently. And with our T25 screwdriver, there's a bolt right here that we can loosen off. Now the bolt is set in there so it won't fall out. You just want to thoroughly loosen it, but I can spin it forever and it's not going to fall out. That's kind of handy so it doesn't drop inside the door. Let me just change angles here. Now we should be able to pull this piece out, just like that. Simple. Down. Now the door handle, you pull it out and up this way. There we go. And then we undo the wiring right here. There's a little clip Perfect. Removed. Then we want to take our courtesy light, just move it back in there, tuck our wiring in a little bit. Take these rubber pieces off. And that's it. Door handle removed. Okay, now we're going to take off the front windshield trim here. And this one you can just use your hands. And then just curl it up and pull. Done. No clips broken. Okay, so the next part is this trim here, because we want to be able to wrap our vinyl around the pillar up to the carbon fiber roof. This one's a little trickier. You got to be careful not to break any clips. But on this one here, we're going to pry up this front end, and then usually it'll lift out. You might have to give it a bit of a shifting motion this way, and I'll show you what the clips look like when I'm done pulling it out. Okay, we got our pry tool here. Lifted it up. And just very gently lifting it straight up. You can feel the clips start to relax as you do so. Done. Now this one here, the clip that's supposed to stay down came up. They're normally glued. There's an adhesive on the back here. So I'm going to replace this adhesive and glue this one back down where it was. Otherwise, not a big deal because nothing broke. Okay, now we're going to take off this black trim here, all the way through part of the quarter glass, and we'll then take off the trim on the door. So let me adjust the camera so you can see here. Okay, so I started here already off camera, right where this body line is. If you have a pry tool, you look ever so closely when it's secured. So I'll just re-secure it there. You can see a plug, and you want to get this right in the middle and release it. If you don't, you risk breaking it. There's two out perfectly without breaking, and then you can see where they are as you go. Okay, so I'll just zoom out here. Change perspective. There you go. Okay, so we got those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so those 8 are all one kind. And of course, BMW changes things up on you. So when this end here, you just want to reach in with your fingers and pull this out. Now this is just clamped into some rubber that's behind it. Try not to bend it. You can see how easy I'm lifting it up here. Now this font, there's a big plug and these joins. There's a seam here, but there's a really big plug right here. It's a big black rectangle. Just want to carefully work that out. I'm just taking my time. we go. Pull that out. And then we need to pull this bottom piece out to towards the back of the car. There we go. So I'll show you what all this looks like. Okay, these are those clips I started with in the beginning. As you can see, they're all here. It's just a little piece of weather stripping. Everything's intact. Here's the rectangle piece I was talking about. And then these are just, this is a piece of metal. And it just goes inside the rubber surround there. And then here's the little tab I pulled out of the bottom. So I'm just gonna go set this down somewhere safe. Whenever you wrap a door, it's nice if you can get this off. So we're going to do that. Okay, so at the back of the door, I'm just gently pushing up on it. Not to bend it, but then I'm just grabbing it along. Comes off perfectly easy. Then you gotta slide it backwards because it's under the mirror a little bit. There we go. So that's it. It's just a piece of pressure fit, weather stripping. No drama, simple. Okay, now we're gonna take off the rocker panel because there's a seam here. We want the vinyl on top to curl into it and the rocker panel vinyl to go in there. And sometimes if you just do a cut line here, and this is white, you might see a little bit of white show through if you don't get the cut absolutely perfect. So to avoid worrying about that, I'm just gonna take it off. So first we have to take off this door sill. And there are a number of plugs that just poke down through the sheet metal. So I'm going to find the first one. It's up here. There we go. And then if you just continue that, putting pressure right where the plug is, you shouldn't have any break. So I'll grab my flashlight. Find where the next one is. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No broken tabs. Then underneath, we have these plugs here. And there's a little tip that you need to take out of them first, or at least most of the way. I'm just going to take them out. And once these are out, then you can get underneath the seating end of it and pop them out, because they just flare at the bottom like a drywall anchor would in a wall when that tab is put in. So you can take these out. Perfect. Now the rocker is not attached anywhere in the door sill area. Okay, now underneath we have 11 of these. Not sure if that can focus. They use a T30 driver. So I'm just going to feel on the bottom here. They're usually able to be removed just without power tools because they're only hand tightened and they're plastic. You don't want to break them. So I'm just using this socket head here and without much effort. And now we're just going to pull this out by hand towards us. There's going to be a lot of dirt falling out of here. There we go. No broken clips, just very dirty. I'm just gonna clean all that up, make sure it's ready for wrapping. Okay, next we're going to remove the tail light. So there's a little plastic flathead tab here. I'm just able to back out by hand. And that's going to let you do is pop this drip rail out. There we go. And then I'm just going to put the tab back in there so I don't lose it. Put the other piece in the trunk. And then here we have two 10mm bolts. And then we just pull towards the back of the vehicle. There we go. And then we can unplug the wiring harness there. And now that panel is getting close to being ready to wrap. Okay, now we're going to take off the other tail light. And this is what it looks like here. So what we're going to look for is this 8mm nut. And what it does is it backs off this clamp, which is what's sandwiching that inside. Once we loosen it back enough, we can slide it out. So I got my 8mm here. Just like that. I'll change camera positions here. Needs a little bit of a push up and then it slides out. So that's that there. But I should undo the wiring harness first. Perfect, done. All right, for the bumper, I did something a little different. I've already taken out all the screws, but I'm gonna show you roughly where they were and what kind of tool you need. So in the wheel well, right inside here, I started prying it open just a little bit. You're gonna have 3 of these, 8mm. You're going to have the first piece underneath here is going to be a Phillips, and then it's going to return to these 8mm heads, and you can see them laid out here. That's roughly where they came out. And then it brings us all the way back to this end, and we got the last Phillips. And then we have 3 from the wheel well. And then up top you have some Torx screws. I think this is a T25 and these are T30s. So a T25 at this end, T25 at that end, and then all T30s here. And I just put them in a pile. So there you can see the size difference. Okay, so I should be able to slide the bumper forward out of these tabs. I'm also going to have to make sure that I disconnect my cameras on the side. You might also have a sensor here. Mine has the spot for it, but no sensor. So I just have to unplug the wiring for that, and as well as my parking sensors. When I get the bumper a little more loose, this piece of weather stripping was just pushed right on top of that piece of plastic all the way around. So nothing much to really show there. I just laid it out of the way. So let's try and take the bumper off. There's actually 2 more bolts right here you can get to from inside the fender liner, holding the panel there. And 2 more on this side, holding it there. So let me get those out first. I believe it's 8mm. Okay, here's what those screws look like. 8mm, very long. I didn't take the wheel off, but it would have been easier. Okay, now we're gonna try and pull the bumper off. So I've undone the camera, which was here, and there's wiring coming off the body right in here. And it's attached here to this clip, so I'm just gonna pry that clip off and also undo this plug here, and then that should be completely free of wiring on this side. And here's a better look at the camera attached. So I'm gonna undo these two small Torx bits there, take that camera out, and then again there's some wiring that's actually this side doesn't have it. Looks like just the camera is all I have to worry about there. Alright guys, we have a couple things left to do. We have the vent here, and we also just want to loosen the back bumper so we can get the body lines at the back just separate a little bit, so when we wrap we can get a little bit over each of the corners, and then we can cinch the bumper back up tight. I took off the front bumper because it's going to require a lot of inlays. I've got to take out all the vents from the ports at the bottom of the bumper because they're just going to be in the way currently attached, so taking it off is just easier. And yeah, that should be exciting. Anyway, let's get to this. So there's two pieces here. There's a cover plate and a backing plate. Right now I'm just working on getting the cover plate off, and I just want to do it gently. Just like that. It sounds worse than it is. And then once it's unclipped, we can wiggle it out towards us. So as you can see, there's two big clips and then just two guiding clips. So we'll put this out of the way. I had wrapped it in a previous video, otherwise it'd be this chrome color. No thank you. Now we have this backing plate, and there's these little tabs here. We have to push on them at the same time as pulling it out. So there, no tabs broken. That's what they look like. And then this guy here, so there, I was able to get both at the same time. Now it just basically falls out. Yeah, so actually, there's no heavy duty clips here, just tiny little tabs. And then these two larger clips that go on the inside. Okay, done. Okay guys, got the bumper ready to loosen. I've got these three long 8mm screws that go in here. Then there's a T20, I believe, Torx screw that holds this panel to that panel. And then a bunch of 8mm bolts like we're used to seeing. And then there's two 10mm bolts, one right here and one right here. You can easily see them when you take the tail light out. So I just need to pull on here. Just like that. And then I can pull the bumper back a little bit. There we go. That's all I need. That way I can wrap the vinyl around here and up here as well. Okay, now we got to figure out how to take this door off. And then I'll show you that, and we should be able to wrap up this video. Okay, to take off the fuel door is probably the easiest thing so far. I'll just position the camera a little bit better for you here. There is a tab right here that if I pull up on, it will pull a little piece of plastic or a stock that's in the sheet metal here, and then I can slide that off. So we'll just pry this tab up and then slide the door towards me, just like that. So this is just putting pressure into that hole, making it not come off. But now I can wrap this panel, make sure the vinyl gets all the way in, as well as wrap around this door. Perfect. All right guys, we got the M4 pretty much ready for wrapping. We just need to do some masking and proper cleaning, and that'll be in the next video. I'm excited to try a new product by VVIVID called the Ultra Gloss series, so you definitely want to see that. Anyway, if you like today's video, smash that like button. Remember, likes count for a lot for YouTube creators like myself, so I'd really appreciate your support. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time.